So, whenever I meet somebody and they find out that I do YouTube, they always ask me the same question. It's always like, can you tell me some horror stories about some like fan encounters or like subscriber encounters? And I've met a lot of you guys, and for the most part, you're all pretty cool. So I don't really have a lot of horror stories about you guys, but I do have one horror story, kind of, about something that happened to me back in 2017, and I think you all are going to enjoy it. So if you do, leave a like on the video. Let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place back in 2017. At this point in my life, I was living out in California, and things were fine. Things were good. I had a pretty consistent routine at this point, and by that I mean it was not consistent at all. I would literally wake up every day, whenever. Sometimes it'd be like 6 p.m., sometimes it'd be like 6 a.m., and the first thing I would do is make a video. Before I'd even eat breakfast or anything, I would just make a video. And yeah, on this day, it was like every other day. I got up, started making a video, just kicking it on my computer, recording my voice, my story. And about halfway through my video, I get a knock on my front door. Now on this day, I had no plans to hang out with anybody. I had no plans with anyone whatsoever. So it could only really be like two things. One, the mailman dropping off a package. Two, food delivery or something. I didn't order food, but sometimes my neighbors would, and it would come to my door on accident, so that was what I thought. So I got up out of my chair, stopped recording, walked over to the front door, looked through the peephole, and I see the mailman walking away. So that confirmed it. It was option one. There was a package at my front door. So obviously I opened up my door, grabbed the package, brought it inside, put it down on the kitchen table, and then I went back into my room and started recording my video again. I didn't even look at the package. I didn't even look at who it was from. I definitely should have, looking back. But yeah, I just didn't care. I put it down on my kitchen table and I went into my room and kept recording. I honestly just assumed it was some package that I probably ordered off of Amazon and forgot about, and it finally arrived, and I'd deal with it later. So that was my thought process, right? So I recorded my video, finished that up. It took around an hour and a half, and after editing it and getting it uploaded, I finally had some free time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in the kitchen and make some food. So I got up out of my chair, went into the kitchen, opened the freezer, grabbed some like TV dinner thing, popped it in the microwave. I'm just sitting there at my kitchen table, and I'm staring at this package on my kitchen table. I'm like, okay, let me read the label. Let me see where this is from. So I grab it, I look at it. It says my full name on it, so, it was for me. But the company on the box that sent it, that didn't make a lot of sense to me. I had never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. But I knew I had to have ordered it because, it's addressed to me and it's at my table. So I start cutting it open with my knife and I open it up and I see another box within the box. And this one has like company branding all over it. Once again, this company I'd never heard of. I'm not going to say their name because I'd just rather not give them free promotion. No offense to them. It just wouldn't make much sense. And I'm like, okay, like, what is this company? So I start opening the box within the box, right? And just as I'm ripping off the tape, my phone starts ringing, and it's from my friend Chris. It's a FaceTime call. So I answer it. I'm like, what up, dude? He's like, yo, what's good, man? What are you up to? I was like, nothing, just opening my mail. He's like, yeah, what you got? And I was like, some random package that I don't remember ordering. I'm opening it right now. He's like, yeah, let me see. And I'm like, okay. So I prop the phone up next to me, and I kind of give him like a nice little unboxing angle of me unboxing this package. So after I set my phone down, I continue ripping off the tape from this package, right? And I get it open. And when I open the box, I am greeted to just a giant container of dirt. Like it's a big container and it's filled with like dirt / soil or something. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember ordering dirt or a plant, so don't really know why I have this here. And I look over at my phone and my friend Chris is like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, dirt. He's like, dirt? I'm like, yeah, dude, like fucking dirt. He's like, did you order like some houseplants or something? I'm like, no. And he goes, did you order like an animal? And when he said that, it hit me. I was like, oh shit. So I immediately put the big box of dirt back down on the table because I'm like, okay, if there's an animal in there, I cannot have it in my lap. Like I can't. And I like take a few steps back from the table and Chris is on the phone still and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, bro, I swear to God, if there's an animal in there, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, bro, it's probably not an animal. It's probably like a fucking plant or something. Like, chill out. Just go investigate. I'm like, no, dude. If there's like a tarantula or something in there, like, no. He's like, bro, you're being paranoid. It was just a joke I was making. Like, it's probably not an animal. Just double check, okay? And I was like, fine. So I like tiptoed back over to the box. I start investigating. I'm like moving the box around. It's like a clear plastic container, right, with dirt in it. And I'm like looking around, I can't see anything. And then upon my investigation, right, I see a little piece of paper in the original cardboard box that I got the box of dirt out of that I didn't see before. So I pick it up out of the box, and it's a little note, and it says, "To Austin, from your biggest fan, Vince." I don't know who Vince is. Never heard that name a day in my life when it came to my friends. So I was like, okay, that's pretty weird. But it's some sort of gift from a guy named Vince, right? And now I'm like kind of having the gears turn in my head. I'm like, okay, this is probably either a hacker or like maybe I got too messed up at a party in LA or something and I gave out my address to someone named Vince and they were sending me a gift. Like, I didn't know, but the gears were turning and I was trying to come up with like, what this could be. So after I read this note, I put it down and I decided to Google the company that sent the package, like where he, got this gift from. So I Googled the company name and immediately, the first search result is the company's name and then the word reptiles. So that made me think, okay, there's an animal in that box. I also saw suggested search results that said spiders, snakes, fucking frogs. Frogs, dude. So I'm like, okay, this company is something that sells reptiles and amphibians and spiders, arachnids, like just all these animals, right? And also, this guy Vince sent one to my house. So now I'm freaking out and I'm on the phone with Chris and I'm like, yo, Chris, there is an animal sitting in that dirt somewhere. I promise. And he's like, bro, you're tripping. Like, it's probably nothing. Like, relax. I'm like, dude, I Googled the company. I'm reading it right now. Like, it's a fucking reptile company. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, well, I want to know what it is, bro. Flip the camera and like do some more investigating. I'm like, bro, I don't want to investigate. If I get bit by a snake right now, or like if I get bit by a spider, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. I don't like any of those. I don't want to deal with that. And he's like, Austin, you're being a little bitch right now. You got to man up and you got to figure out what's in that dirt. I'm like, Chris, shut the fuck up. He goes, Austin, grow a pair. Figure it out. I'm like, fuck you, man. So I go back over to the big box of dirt and I'm like moving it around, like I'm turning it left and right, moving the dirt inside around, trying to see if I can like reveal whatever's inside, and I don't see anything. So after like, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 minutes of like moving the dirt around and trying to figure out what's in there, I can't find shit. Whatever it was hiding incredibly good, or there was just nothing in there. And me and Chris were like trying to figure out if we were being trolled or not. Cause like, I didn't understand how I couldn't have found it by now. So yeah, after like 20 minutes, I just gave up. I was like, you know what? I'll try again later. Or like, I'll let someone else try cause I can't find whatever it is. I honestly think I'm being trolled. And I tried looking around the package for a receipt or something, but there was nothing in there. It was sent as a gift. So there was just no receipt, no way to figure out whatever this was, like I just couldn't figure it out. So I decide to give up and go back to it later. And I go back in my room and I get on my computer and I'm on the FaceTime call with Chris still. And I'm on this website, right? Looking through the animals they sell or whatever they're called. Insects, amphibians, arachnids, whatever. They sell it all, right? And they really did sell it all. I saw snakes. I saw tarantulas. I saw frogs. I saw lizards, Komodo dragons, like anything. They sold crickets and like insects for fucking animals to feed off of. Like they just had it all. And the thought of one of those being in my kitchen freaked me out, right? So I end up talking to Chris for like 30 more minutes, right? And we end up hanging up after that because, we had already talked for quite a while and there was nothing else to talk about. And he told me to let him know later what that, animal was when I find out. And I was like, yeah, I will. And we hang up and I get on my computer and I'm just like on YouTube watching videos. And then I joined my Discord with a couple online friends and I'm talking to them. Now, I'm in this Discord call for maybe 10, 15 minutes until another friend of mine joins who lives down the street from me in LA. We're just going to call him Jason, okay? Jason is somebody I met in LA at a party. He also did YouTube, pretty successful YouTuber. He wasn't like a YouTube personality. He was like running the show behind the scenes, if that makes sense. He like ran one of those like popular viral videos channels. And yeah, he lived down the street from me. So like literally a mile down the road that I lived on, he was there. And I told him about what happened. I was like, yo, so like, call me a pussy. I don't care. But I got a package today from some mystery person named Vince. And it's from a company that sells reptiles and stuff. And it's a big box of dirt. So I think there's an animal in it. And I can't figure out what it is. And he goes, bro, do you still have it? Like, is it in your house still? I'm like, yeah, bro, it's in my kitchen. Like, I tried moving the dirt around, like, moving the box back and forth, moving the dirt around, trying to see if I could see what it was. But I couldn't see anything. And he goes, can I come over and look at it? And I was like, bro, please be my guest. I'm afraid of this thing. I don't want to try and like figure it out anymore. He goes, all right, bro, I'll be right there. So I get off Discord and I go back into my kitchen, right? And I wait for Jason to pull up. He's there in like 5 minutes, right? He knocks on my front door. I open it. I let him in. He comes in. He goes, all right, man, where's it at? I'm like, right there on the kitchen table. And this dude, this fearless ass motherfucker, also stupid, walks over to the kitchen table and just rips off the top of this plastic container / box that the dirt's in. And I'm like, yo, chill, bro. Like, what if it like jumps out or something? He's like, bro, if you've been looking for this long and you can't see what it is, it must be pretty small. So chill out. So he rips the top off and he starts shoving his hands in the dirt like a psychopath and moving it around, trying to see if he could find this thing. And it didn't even take, not even like 10 seconds. And he immediately jumps backwards and goes, holy shit. And I was like, what? What is it? He goes, dude, I think it's a fucking tarantula. And I'm like, no, Jason, don't tell me that right now. Please don't tell me that right now. I don't like spiders. I cannot have one in my fucking house. Please, bro, please. He goes, bro, it was fuzzy and it was terrifying looking. It was like buried in the dirt. And then he like goes back in, right, with like a spoon. And he's like trying to like move the dirt around to show me. And finally, I see it. It was a fucking tarantula. And it was giant. It was not a baby. It was a big one. I don't know how it stayed hidden for so long when I was looking previously in the day. It was a lot of dirt. It was a big plastic container. So like maybe it was just buried really well, or I just missed it and it blended in really well. But this motherfucker was big. And I'm like freaking out now, right? I'm like, yo, put the top back on. Put the fucking container back together. I don't want to see this thing. Like, we need to get this out of here now. And Jason grabs the top of the container to go put it back on top of, you know, the plastic box and like lock it back in. And as he's doing that, right, a fucking another one comes out from beneath the dirt and just stands there. And I jump backwards and Jason goes, holy fuck, there's two of them, bro. And I'm like, no, put the top back on, put it on. And he puts the top back on and me and Jason both look at each other and he's like, yo, who the hell is messing with you, man? They sent you 2 full-size tarantulas? I'm like, bro, I need to move. I need to move now. I needed to move like yesterday because clearly I'm about to get more of this shit sent to my door and I can't handle that. So immediately I jump on the phone, right? And I'm calling friends of mine that live in LA and I'm like, hey, do you guys want a tarantula? Because I just got 2 of them in the mail and I don't really want them. And all my friends are like, what? 2 tarantulas in the mail? What? No, I don't want them. And finally, I end up calling this one dude. We'll just call him Marcus, okay? Marcus was a weird individual. He was probably my weirdest friend in LA, and I loved him for that. And I thought he'd be the perfect person to ask this question to. So I call him up, and he answers. He's like, yo, what's good, bro? I'm like, hey, man, so I'm here at my apartment with Jason. Kind of a long story, but I have 2 tarantulas that I don't want, and I want them gone, like, now. Do you want 2 pet tarantulas? He goes, dude, fuck yeah, bro. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, man. Like, do you got like an enclosure for him or anything? I was like, no, but I'll happily pay for one for you and like cover all the expenses to get all the stuff you need for him. I just want both of them out of my house as soon as possible, if that's okay. He goes, dude, understandable. I'll be right there. I'm like, cool. So like 15 minutes later, he pulls up and he comes in and he like sees the plastic container on my table and he like opens it up and starts looking at him. And this psycho dude, he picks one of them up. Keep in mind, we have no idea what species this tarantula is. There's some tarantulas that are harmless. There's some that are not so harmless. And he's just holding it. He's just holding one of them, right? And I was like, yo, Marcus, I don't know which kind of tarantula that is. It can be either harmless or not so harmless. So maybe you shouldn't hold it right away. And this dude just pulls out fucking spider facts. He's like, oh no, it's not that harmless. It's a blue-haired, blah, blah, blah. Their bites are poisonous, but not that poisonous. It wouldn't kill a human. It'd just feel like a bee sting, essentially. And I was like, Marcus, how do you know that? He goes, oh, I used to want a couple of these when I was a kid. So, dude, like, this is like a dream come true. And I'm like, I'm happy that there's at least some sort of positive in this situation, because this day has been fucked so far. And he's like, yeah, how'd you even get these guys? And I was like, I don't even know if they're guys. They might be girls. I don't know. But I woke up today and I got it at my front door in the mail from some guy named Vince. He goes, do you know anyone named Vince? I was like, no, I don't. He goes, well, Vince did me a favor. And I was like, yeah, not so much me. So anyway, after this, we went to the pet store, we bought an enclosure, we bought everything they needed, and we set up a little enclosure at Marcus's apartment in LA, and he held on to him. He had him for quite a few years. Unfortunately, a few years later, he had to move because he joined the military and had to travel, and he couldn't keep them, so he gave them away to one of his family members that also liked reptiles and spiders and stuff. So they do have a good home. I don't know if they're still alive. I would imagine they might be, probably. But they did have a loving home for many years after I got rid of them. Now you're probably wondering, Austin, did you get anything else that was fucked up in the mail? Yep, I did. 2 weeks later, I got something else. But unfortunately, I'm going to cliffhang you guys, because this video is already running pretty late. And honestly, that story is a whole nother story for a whole different video. I can make a whole separate video about it, so I'm going to do that either tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, guys, that is the story of how I got 2 tarantulas on my front doorstep from some random weirdo that had my address. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys all later. Peace.
I'm in a bad mood, I can see it today. I remember all my friends and now I'm all that remains. I got some bad news, gotta go, I can't stay. Yeah, this place I call the home is slowly falling away. Nah, feeling hopeless, yeah, I'm fading out.